right, so Utica's schedule just must very very recently came out. It must have been today or yesterday because now we have a full official 23-24 schedule according to the Utica Pioneers website. Now we're going to see a lot of the same teams as last year. But you've also got a little bit of new stuff, which I'm very excited about, and I'm glad I can finally talk about schedule. You have leading off the season on October 20th, opening night for your Utica Pioneers is going to be a game against the USA Under-18 team, who is very familiar with Utica. We've seen them before. We've seen them a lot. And they're going to be in the odd again. This will actually be my first time seeing that roster, so it'll be interesting. Plus, I'm not 100%. I think there's been some turnover from last season, so it'll be interesting to see the guys that are on that roster coming in, because I haven't looked. And that is a team that Utica, they don't have a thing for playing against them. They don't have their history thing listed. But last year they did lose. It was somewhat close of a game, but they did end up coming up short and losing to USA team. So we'll see what happens. That is on Friday, October 20th. And all these times are to be determined. Most of these times are to be determined. They'll come out a lot closer to the season. We are a few months out. And then that's an exhibition. That is an exhibition game. That's pretty much a preseason game. And then your first official home games that really count for the year are two home games against Adrian College. Now, this is a team that we have a lot of history with. And this is a team that Utica came very close to beating by one in the first game last season and then lost 8-3 the second game. Utica is 3-6 overall against this team and are on a losing streak of 3 against Adrian after going on a winning streak of 3. So they went on a losing streak of 3, a winning streak of 3, and a losing streak of 3 so far. So if history repeats, let's hope that it's going to be a winning streak of 3 that comes up, please. I don't know how the roster turnover has been for Adrian. There's some of these things I will look into more as the season comes up, and more when I do my previews. Like, at least in the early season, was there turnover? What does it look like? I don't know if Adrian's going to sustain one for super long, but you never know. And that's going to be interesting. That is October 27th and 28th, a Friday and Saturday with to be determined times. Those games I am kind of excited for, but you never truly know what's going to happen. And I really don't. That's what worries me a little. Especially with the Utica team that lost a lot of depth and is now going into what I call a reloading year. Because it's not necessarily a rebuild because it's college. But I trust Gary. And then following that, November 3rd and 4th, a Friday and Saturday, is Stevenson University is coming into the odd. Now, there's an asterisk next to this game. Most games have asterisks next to them for a reason that isn't listed, so I can't tell you why that's there. But they are coming into the odd. It's to be determined times. And this is a team that Utica is 11-1 against. Last season, saw Utica take home a 4-3 victory. And if I remember correctly, that was an overtime game. Or came close to an overtime game. And same with the game before. Both games Utica saw against them last season was 4-3 wins. It was rough. Utica came out victorious, but Stevenson is a tough team. They're top of the conference. They are one of the top 3 teams in the conference, right behind or in front of Nazareth, depending on how you look at them, because of how last season went. Honestly, it's very much a personal preference of if you like Nazareth or Stevenson at 2 or 3, whoever's better, and that's why I leave it kind of as they can go either way, because that's just how both teams are. And again, I haven't done the deep research of roster turnover. Who are some of the? Are they keeping a leading scorer or 2? Are they keeping most of the roster makeup? So I can't give super detailed opinions until when we get closer to the games, because then we know a lot more about recruiting classes and everything. And I'm gonna say that 100 more times, even though I don't really want to say it too much. November 10th and 11th are the first away games for your Pioneers, seeing Chatham University. On the 10th and 11th of November, Friday and Saturday, times are to be determined. Now, this was a team that Utica walked in and beat last year. They're 11-0 total against them. And Utica, honestly, they should have been bigger wins, but Utica got stunted by the penalty. They made some dumb penalties. One or two was even a call that probably shouldn't have been made. I didn't agree with. And Chatham got the power play goals. They had a good power play unit in the odd. Utica just got unlucky playing against a team that got red hot on the power play. That burned them. So it honestly should have been bigger wins, but they're coming. We're going to their building this year. We'll see how the team performs. And then to end the home stretch, the second of two series that Utica will play in an away stretch, November 18th and 19th, Saturday and Sunday, they will see Wilkes University down in Wilkes. Times for those games are 7:30 on the Saturday and 3:30 on the Sunday. I hope I can cover both of those, just like every away game. Because last year I think I covered about half the away games. So those will be fun this year. I know Adrian, the first game was kind of rough. So hopefully none of our games are that rough this year on the road. But Wilkes is another team that, in conference history, Utica is 11-1-1 against this team. Currently on a streak of 3. And they have a really good record against Wilkes. But away, they're 2-1-1. That's where their loss and tie-up are on the road. So we'll see what they do in their building. They've seen them these 10 times in a span of 3 years, a total. From February 22nd to their last game in November of last season, they've seen them 10 times, which is a testament to just how much they've played well against this Wilkes team and gone 8-1-1. And they average 5 goals a game against this team, so we'll see how they do. That one I would say I would be a little excited for, just because, I like seeing Utica score big. Let's hope they do that there. Now, coming up after that is the Delta by Marriott Utica Thanksgiving Showcase. I don't know why I read Utica's University. It's a weird thing with their name. I just keep having moments. We have the 4 teams that will be playing in it. Oswego State will take on Elmira that Friday, and in that semifinal, and then you have Utica playing St. John's University in the semifinal, who I'm pretty sure is a D2 team. And then the winner of those go into the championship, and the losers go into the consolation. So if Utica wins, they see Oswego State or Elmira, or if they lose, they see Oswego State or Elmira. So we'll see 2 of the 3. Those will be kind of interesting. And those 2 games are Friday to be determined, and then the consolation and championship are Saturday, the 25th. Also, times to be determined. All games in the Utica odd. Then, on December 1st, you have your Teddy Bear Toss. December 1st, a Friday, time to be determined against Stonehill College, a D1 team. Now, they are in limbo, but I've been excited. I've been very excited about this game. Very much so. And also, let me note Utica beat St. John's last time they met. I didn't note that. But Stonehill, when I heard about that, I was so excited. Because I'm like, we're getting a D1 team. I don't care if it's a D1 team in purgatory. Gary said he wants tough teams on podcasts before. He wants a tough schedule, is what I'm 99% sure he said. If he's doing it, I'm not complaining. And then the following weekend, they go on the road. December 9th, a Saturday, time to be determined, to play Oswego State. And last time they had Oswego State was on the Teddy Bear Toss, and they kept them scoreless. But they're 8-14-5 against Oswego State in their history. And away, Utica's 3-8-2. So it's been a little rough. And they're 2-3-5 in history, in the last 10 against this team. So I think it'll be very tough, especially with losing so much of what they did. But by that point in the season, you're going to have your identity. Plus, Gary has a system. He gets the guys to fit his system most of the time. So if the system we'll really see if the system can make the guys better, even if, not saying they're bad players, but just saying that the younger players usually they haven't developed as much as having fifth-year seniors. They're not at that. It's not a roster that what it was last year in terms of talent yet. Although it has the potential to be down the road, you never truly know. But I mean, we'll see how this team does against Oswego State. We'll know their identity by that point, and we'll kind of know how the season's going. And that goes for the rest of these games, too, because we don't 100% know what this team's going to do. We still don't have the full recruiting class. We only have 5 guys confirmed, and, we'll see what happens. I mean, anything can happen. It's the college hockey season. Anything can happen. Then, January 5th and 6th, coming back to Utica, and on a Friday-Saturday slate with times to be determined, Manhattanville. Oh, I want to see these guys so bad. I hate Manhattanville, but I love having them come to the Odd because I get loud for those games. Louder than I get for almost any other game, because I don't like Manhattanville. It's like the Pioneers version of the Dallas Cowboys are to the Eagles. I hate the Cowboys. Absolutely hate them. Absolutely hate them. As an Eagles fan. As a Utica fan, I absolutely don't like Manhattanville. I hate them. So it's one of those. This is the big rival, So I kind of get a little hype just even thinking about it this far out, I know you can't see, but I made a gesture and I'm already moving around in my seat, just excited for this game. 33 wins, 23 losses, 5 ties in total against Manhattanville. And they're 17-11-3 against them at home. So we'll see what Utica can do against these guys. And let's hope they beat them. I really hope. Then they have a two-game home slate with Newman University, January 12th and 13th, a Friday-Saturday slate with no times. Now, Utica beat Newman both times last season. It wasn't that tough, it didn't feel like. I mean, it wasn't pretty for Newman at all. Utica is 27-16-4 overall against Newman, and that's their home record, 9-12-1 away. So we'll see how they do on the road against Newman, since they have an under 500 on the road against them. And then coming into town, 19th and 20th, a Friday-Saturday with times to be determined, are Lebanon Valley College. Now, this is a team that Remy dropped a metric ton of points on, and Utica absolutely leveled, dropping 16 Genos to Lebanon Valley's 1 that went in on Sturtsy that I feel like he got unlucky more than anything. And I wish I was here to do that game because I would have been flipping out because I would have had to run my stream goal. I have like a thing for when I do the goal. I don't know how to explain it. I would have had to play that over and over and over and over and over. And they scored 2 in the third period when they were literally just like passing. Bad shot. Oh, it went in. Okay. Do it again. Pass. Goalie touch it. Pass. Random shot. Course of their existence against Lebanon Valley. And they are 13-0-1 at home versus that college. Now, coming into town for a home and away slate is Nazareth University again. January 26th Friday and 27th Saturday, times to be determined. Now, I actually do really want to go to the away Nazareth game because I don't get to go to away Utica home games. Plus, I got family over in the Rochester area, so I really want to try to get out to that one because I would love being in enemy territory. That would be funny, but it'll be interesting to see them come in. Like I said, their spot is, I'd say Stevenson is that top 3 team in the conference. Utica is 23-5-3 against Nazareth. My bad. 15-2-1 at home and 8-3-2 away against the Golden Eagles, and they average 4 goals a game. So we'll see what they do against Nazareth. I mean, it's unpredictable as of right now. You never know with these games with teams like that. But we'll see how Utica performs, because by that point we'll know what Utica is. We'll know what everybody in the conference is. So we'll know kind of what to expect. And then February 2nd and 3rd, Friday, Saturday, at times to be determined, Utica will go on the road to play King's College Professor Rossi's alma mater. Shout out to Professor Rossi. Anyone who sits in 103 knows who Professor Rossi is. Yeah, I'm glad I get to. Every time I get the opportunity, I literally point out Professor Rossi and go, yep. I get to shout out Rossi on a video just because, I love sitting near him. Some of the conversations we have had during games are hilarious, by the way. Great guy. If you ever get the chance to stop down to 103 for a game, he is great. So is most of that section. Utica is 10-0 against King's College in their existence. 6-0 on the road, or 6-0 at home, 4-0 on the road, and 10-0 in total. So we'll see how Utica does against them on the road. I don't expect much, but you honestly never know. It could. Yeah, we think we got these guys. We should have these guys, and they smack you in the mouth because they have nothing to lose. That's what Alvernia did. That's what Arcadia did last season. They had nothing to lose. They threw everything at Utica at the end of the season when Utica locked everything up, and they're just like, "Oh, you're gonna try to smack us in the mouth?" And they did kind of respond, but not very well at first. So we'll see with a somewhat different group of guys. Utica is 2-0 with their first two meetings against Alvernia coming last season, both being wins. Utica is averaging 5 goals a game against them, but at this point the average doesn't necessarily really matter. So we'll see if they can beat them at home in a loud, because it's going to be loud. That is February 9th and 10th, 9th and 10th Friday, Saturday, times to be determined. Then, to finish up the regular season, it will be Arcadia University coming into town. Another recent addition to the conference. They're going to try to do the same thing that Alvernia's going to do and just be like, yeah, we're somewhat new. We're still building, but, we'll try to smack it in the mouth. And Utica is 5-0 against them, 2-0 at home. So we'll see what Utica does this year against them. And like I said, by that point, we'll kind of know where Utica is. We'll know what Utica's looking at. We're going to know where they are in the playoff. And then that following Wednesday, February 21st, is the UCHC quarterfinals. By that point, we're going to really know what Utica is. Utica could be playing in that. You never know. And then that following Saturday, the 24th, will be your semifinals of the UCHC. And then March 2nd, the following week, is your if Utica qualifies. Now, all of those must qualify. If they qualify and make to those spots, that's where they'll be. That's where they can play. Then, obviously, you have the NCAA tournament start March 9th to Saturday, and then March 6th, and that will be the first round on March 9th, and then a week later on the 16th, you have the quarterfinals. On the Thursday, the 21st of March, you have the semifinals, and then the 23rd, a Saturday, you have the championship. I don't think Utica's going to make it that far, but, you never know. You could break out. So, it's a nice Utica schedule. I like seeing a tough schedule. Although this is a rough year for Utica, I'm not surprised with how Gary likes to do things that he said. I don't care, tough schedule, and I like it. I like it. If you're gonna take some hits, build a team that's not going to be like, oh, we're going to go undefeated on a weak schedule. Don't be Alabama. And I know that's not how Gary would want to do it. He'd want to be like, I want to play the toughest people I can possibly line up. And if we hold on, we hold on. If we don't, we don't. But, adversity can help build a team. Adversity can build something that it can help you mold something the way you want it to be. It can build guys up to play hard. It's going to be an exciting year. I mean, we don't even have the full recruiting class yet. We only have 5 guys. There's more spots to fill on the forward lines, and that's pending transfers because you never know. Those could and it happen at any point because look at Cameron Patton left last season in the middle of the season, so anything is possible, anytime, anywhere, any place. We don't know who else could be on the horizon. There's a lot that we don't know yet in terms of filling out the rest of the roster and everything, but, it's Gary. I trust the guy. He's been around this program for over 20 years now. He's been around for, 22 years? Going into his 23rd? Third year he's going into? I believe in him. I do. At the end of the day, he's been around. He knows what he's doing. And he's built a staff that knows what they're doing with Decker and Coach Nick. And the program itself knows what they're doing. So I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited to see all the guys in 103 again. I'm excited to get hype with the season. You know, I'm going bigger and better than ever in those seats. I'm going to get super loud. The herd will be around, you know. I have a feeling it can be a very exciting year. Because, I mean, I got things planned. I have small ideas planned for this season to go above and beyond putting a towel on my head and screaming at people. Because as much as I love doing that, I always want to think of a way to go bigger and better and greater. Because I just love being funny. And we'll see how it goes. You know, 315 Hockey Podcast, when it comes back, is going to be on the podcast with Scotty and with Dave and with whoever guests we can get on. And it's always fun. So I'm hoping we can get that going this year. I'm hoping I'm back. And, oh, that'll be awesome because getting a full year under my belt with that would be awesome. Because I can, during the season, it never really caught my loudness. Plus, I think the towel head heckler could come out at some point during that, too. Because I still haven't told that story. You know, I'm guessing that'll get told on the podcast at some point. But anyways, you know how I am. I'll be back when Utica gets some commits or some news happens because Gary likes to keep it tight-lipped. So I don't know when, but something will happen at some point. I don't know what. I don't know when, but I know something will happen. There's always something. So when we get a recruit or something, I'll be back. See ya.